All right, welcome everybody. Today we are really excited to have a special guest with us all the way from Eunice, Louisiana. We have Mr. Jerry Devillier.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic.
Wonderful
Doing
to
great.
hear. Wonderful to hear. Mr. Jerry, you grew up on a farm in the heart of Cajun country and probably remember traditional Cajun music being played around you, part of your earliest memories. Your father was a respected Cajun musician that played accordion, Amar, and he even recorded a record. He exposed you, obviously, took you along to these Cajun dances and all. What do you remember about that time?
Well, in those days we had dances at home. There were no dance halls, and so every Saturday the people would clear up the living room and clear the furniture, and Daddy would go in. They called it the bal de maison, and he usually had sometimes a fiddle player and a triangle, but most of the time it's just him and the triangle. And it was every Saturday night. That's one of the things that we do, and that was during the war, by the way, you know. And when finally we were able to move up a little, and they started building dance halls, then Daddy started playing the dance halls, and he got up a little band going, and then it just went on, and things changed and evolved to what it is now.
And you, as a young man, were playing in a bar not too far north of Eunice, and the rumor has it that somehow Pete Seeger found out about that, and you all got an invite to play at the Newport Folk Festival.
Folk Festival.
Yeah.
Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
He was driving on I-10, and he had the radio on, and of course where we were doing the jam session, it was on radio, and for some reason he just wanted to come and see what it was like, and he drove to Mamu and saw us playing, and he said, I want you guys to come to Newport and play some Cajun music.
Wow.
And I said, and of course, I was at that song when you walked in. I was playing the triangle, because Cyprien played, the guy playing accordion. He played so fast. And some songs, I don't like to play that fast. I like to play things the way they were originally made, you know. But he was playing so fast, I was playing the triangle. So when the guy said, I want you all to come to play Newport, I said, well, I'm a harmonica player. He says, I want you to come and do what you were doing just now with a triangle. And so I went from a harmonica player to a triangle player. And we went to Newport, and it was a long drive, and I hadn't driven out of town much. And we got there, and all of these famous people, from John Baez, Pete Seeger, Donovan, Bluegrass Mountain Boys, all of these famous people were there, and it was us, the Cajun band.
Nice.
And I was very insecure about my playing Cajun music, and Cajun music wasn't big at the time, and so finally we got up there to start playing, and I mean I was shaking. 22,000 people sitting out there, and so we started playing. I started watching the people doing this, you know. I said, wow, I think maybe we have something going here. and then they were in there. And to make a long story short, out of all these famous people there, we were the only one that got a standing ovation and an encore. Only one. With 22,000 people. And that's really what kick-started Cajun music. The word got out, and after that, they had other Cajun bands, but we were very fortunate to have the chance to get that going. And
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
That's so cool that you're there at that Newport, which is so many of the iconic blues singers and stuff, and folk, and everyone kind of.
And the big thing about it is I was so insecure about the whole thing. They fed us, and I went and sat on the stairs because I didn't think I was worthy of sitting around the big guys.
Right.
And this blonde lady comes and sit with me. She said, "Hi, I'm Mary." I said, "Hi, I'm Jerry." I didn't know who she was. We didn't have radio or television then. And so we ate, and she said, "Jerry, she called me my name." She said, "Well, I really enjoy Cajun music." She said, I really, really enjoy listening to y'all. And to make a long story short, we became friends. And we started communication. And of course, I was in charge of the Liberty Theater. So when it was a good band playing, I'd send her a DVD. And so we'd communicate. And then at the end, she came to Eunice, have a hamburger with me, and brought me a leather folder of all the #1 hits. And then she died 2 years later. But that was when, after she got up, she ate, she got up, and people came to tell me, do you realize who you're sitting with? I said, "Her name's Mary." But don't you know who Mary is? She's Mary. And then they started telling me, then I panicked. If I'd have known, I'd have walked away.
Mary, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Man. How cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So just to be clear about this, Jerry was playing in this Cajun band that was one of the very first Cajun bands, maybe even the first, that got exposure outside of that South Central Louisiana Cajun area at the Newport Folk Festival. So it was like the beginning of Cajun music being heard outside of that area, which is a really big deal.
Yeah.
We were actually the second Cajun band, but for some reason the first band that went there didn't work out, put it that way. And so
because you weren't in it, that's why.
Well,
that's what they were missing. They were missing.
Anyway, so that was a great experience for me, and now to have a leather album of Mary's #1 hits is a big thing for me, because we became very good friends. We'd communicate, we'd call each other, and it was nice. It was nice.
Having not really spoken about this, but from what I've gathered listening to a lot of Cajuns in that area that you live in, and having visited Mark Savoy's music shop, it seems like that there was a period of time where you couldn't easily be proud to be Cajun. I think that there was discrimination in it, and you were made to feel like not feel good about speaking French and everything like that. Did you want to comment on that? Because of like how much you have overcome, growing up and being a resident of that area your whole life. What do you think?
Well, Cajun music at the time was called chicka-chink music. And after the Folklife Festival, then things just started. I mean, it got more and more popular, and it grew, it changed. And it changed from the old guys to the younger guys, but it took a long time before it really got kick-started. And what really got it kick-started was the Liberty Theater. The bands that would come to the Liberty Theater would get invited by people sitting in the audience from New York and say, "Hey, God, we enjoy this kind of music. Why don't you come play for us in New York?" And so the Liberty Theater was like an entrance to foreign countries and all over the United States. We were averaging 37 states and 2 countries every weekend.
Wow.
And so the Liberty Theater got this thing going, and people got jobs all over the United States playing Cajun music, and they were founded at the Liberty Theater. But then word got out, and then Cajun got to be the big thing, you know.
It would be fair to say that the Liberty Theater is Cajun music's equal to the Grand Old Opry?
Yes. In fact, we call it the Cajun Grand Old Opry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
It was an opportunity, and that's why the bands would just, I mean, they'd fight to come and play at the Liberty, because there was always somebody out there says, wow, we like your music. Would you come play for us in New York or in San Francisco or in the UK or whatever?
There's a interesting little bit of history that not a lot of people know about, and that is that Jerry was recruited to play harmonica on a record by Donnie Jacobs that came out on a 45 and was later issued on a 33, an LP. And it's pretty amazing. It actually appears in the blues discography, even though Jerry is not known as being a blues man, but he plays some really amazing harmonica on it in the 1960s, and I'm pretty confident that he discovered it rather accidentally. The song was in the key of A flat, and Jerry figured out how to play a E harp in the key of A flat, putting it in what us harmonica geeks call fifth position. Eric and I recorded a mess of tunes where I'm playing the harmonica that way. And so I'm here to tell you it's pretty damn cool harmonica playing.
You accuse me of having had somebody teach me how to do that.
No.
Yes, you did. You
not.
said somebody taught you how to do that.
I would have been winding you up. I would have been winding you up.
People don't play fifth position unless they know what they're doing, and I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, listen, the guy at the record shop called me. He says, "Hey," he says, "I've got some farmers here that want to do a blues song. That's going to do a blues record." He says, "Would you come and play a blues song?" I was cutting the grass. I was on my lawnmower. And my wife tells me, she says, the record shop, who's advertised all over the world, said, he wants you to come and he has a phone call for you. So Floyd, the owner, he said, "Jerry, I want you to come and play a blues song." I said, "Floyd, I don't play a blues song. I never heard blues song very much. I don't know about there's something about an 8 count and a 12 count. I don't know anything about a blues song. And I don't want to do a blues song because I don't know anything about it." He said, "Well, just come and try." So I went. So they started playing, and I'm trying to find a harmonica, and nothing. I had nothing that matched what they were playing. So I said, "Well, let me try some other." So I just kept pulling harmonicas until I found one that worked. And so, but they had played the song so many times for me to try to find a harmonica. I said, "Well, let's go for it." We did it in one lick. We just played it, and I never told anybody about it until you spoke to me about it. Says, I don't know where you found it, and that's when you did accuse me of somebody taught you how to do fifth position, and I didn't know what fifth position meant, but you did. And if you don't think so, you forgot.
Well,
smackdown here.
It is really cool harmonica playing. Check it out, folks.
Yeah.
There's not more than 5 examples before 1970 of the harmonica played this way, this position, in this way. Check it out. Street Walking Woman by Donnie Jacobs. You will be delighted.
Now when you sing this way, I'm not sure I know how to interpret that.
Badass.
You heard it here.
I was always so ashamed of it, and now Floyd wants to put it in. I mean, he called his friend who works at the radio station. He says, "I want that on the air," and so we're in process of maybe it's going to start playing in Eunice, maybe. I don't know. So anyway, It was fun. It was fun.
Great story.
And it was, I mean, finding a harmonica to fit that with the harmonicas I had was a miracle. Right. I still don't know how I did it, but I did it. And in fact, when we finished doing the record, those black guys come up to me and says, "You got some black blood in you, my friend." You know, they didn't say black blood.
We know that.
So now I'm just beginning to accept it, and maybe if it goes on there, then I'll just have to go along with it. But I really don't feel good about it because I'm compared to what you guys do. And compared to what you guys do, if you guys are doing a 10, I'm doing a 0.5. You know, is how I look at it. You know,
well, it's cool though. It's not your style, so you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is it's cool that you did that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I really never told anybody until Joe found it, and I don't know where you found it, but you did. And he talked to me about it. He said, "You did this in 5th position." I said, "Joe, I don't know what 5th position is." Please.
I have a whole dossier on you.
Wow! I didn't even know about this.
Just don't provoke me.
So maybe can we talk a bit about? I mean, I think it's really fascinating the relationship between the accordion and the harmonica in Cajun music. So it's really interesting connections.
I'm one that's going to say if you play harmonica, you can play accordion. If you can play accordion, you can play harmonica. And it's when we do the split on a harmonica, we're doing the same split on the accordion. When you blow your harmonica and do a split, the accordion hits key 2 and 5 on the blow, and 2 and 6 on the draw, and that's exactly what the accordion does. And so what we did at the teach-in at the Whirlybird, asked my buddy to bring his accordion, the guy Chris, and so now we can show them this is what a split looks like, you know, inside your mouth on the accordion, and that's really been a good tool for us to use to teach the split.
Yeah, just to be clear, the Cajun accordion evolved simultaneous to the diatonic harmonica, the tuning and all, and they're basically the same thing. Instead of fingers, you use your tongue. Instead of bellows, you use your lungs.
Now, the accordion is a diatonic. Now, this is not a piano accordion.
Right,
it's a diatonic.
Right, correct. Very important bit of information.
Yeah.
2 chords.
2 chords. That's all you need.
But you can do a lot with 2 chords if you know what you're doing, like you guys do.
Thank you.
So now, did you start playing harmonica or did you start playing accordion?
No, I started playing. I was 5 years old, and Mama comes home with a horn, a 50-cent horn, and she says, "Here, play with your dad." And so, you know, as a little kid, so when Daddy would sit on the porch and play a song and practice to learn the song, I would sit with him and try to follow him. But when I started, I didn't sound like him. I was puckering. I didn't, you know, and it didn't sound like him. And so I for some kind of way, I learned to do rhythm in the background, puckering. And then I still didn't sound like him, and I wanted that accordion sound, so I learned to split. Now, I didn't have anybody teaching me now. I learned to split, and then with the split, I started doing the rhythm, and now I sound kind of like an accordion. And years back at the Yam Festival in Opelousas, Louisiana, they had a contest for a one-man band. Okay, so I entered it. So I played the accordion, the harmonica, and the drums, and I won the first place.
Wow, Can you do that for us right now? We'd like to see.
I don't have an accordion, but when you play accordion, you can play the harmonica. I hold the accordion with my elbow, and I just do it.
That's funny.
And so I played the bass drum, and made the front page in the newspaper.
I bet that sounds impressive.
That was my first front page.
Yeah. We should note too. I did want to mention, because I know, Joe, you're a big fan of tongue blocking, and that is kind of the technique that you're talking about, that as you adapted, so you found that you could really get those accordion sounds by using the tongue.
God only knows how I found out how to do that, because I really didn't have any help, and I was just 5 years old when I started, But it was unfortunate that my dad never asked me to play on stage with him. He played, Isom would play on stage with him, or Isom Fontenot would play with him, but he never asked me once to ever play on stage with him, so I never got to play with Dad on stage.
Chris Strakowitz released on his label a bunch of Cajun music, and I picked that up, became familiar with that because I was looking into Isom Fontenot, and it was on that same record that I seen your name and read about you before I had even met you, which was pretty cool thing. But what are your memories of Isom Fontenot? I personally think he's a very important Cajun harmonica player. I think he recorded the most and probably had the most varied repertoire of any of the Cajun harmonica players. You have any great memories?
Great memories. He was just such a gentleman, and the way I met him is we were sharecroppers, and Daddy plows things would get dull, so we get in the bucket and go to Mamu, and Isom was the one that he would forge him sharp again. So that's how I met him as a welder, as a welder, and so I've been knowing him for a long time. And then I grew up while he was playing with Daddy, so I heard him play many a times, and believe me, I believe he's the best Cajun harmonica player that ever lived, and will always be. I don't think anybody will ever be able to play like Isom Fontenot did. He had a unique style. He had a personality. He'd sing. I mean, he did it all, and he sold himself. He just had a personality that just drew you to him.
Yeah.
And he was fast. He could play, and he never miss a lick. He'd do that tongue blocking, and you cannot listen to Isom and try to find one lick that he missed. He was just that good.
Wow.
Fantastic. So, is there any chance that anybody who's in the Eunice area could ever get to hear you play? Are you out playing anywhere?
Yes, I played several times at the university, fundraiser and for the university board, and now I get invited to talk about. I get library next week. I got to do one in Opelousas to talk about my life and my playing, different clubs. Libraries, different places asked me to give talks, and which I used to say no years ago. I would have never accepted an invitation like that. But now I'm beginning to feel comfortable with it, and I get lots of invitations to play, and I'm enjoying it.
I am very glad to hear that, because I cannot say sincerely enough, you truly are one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met in my life.
I'm just odd, maybe a little. I'm a little bit odd, but that's okay.
No arguing that
part. You want to tell them how we met? Tell the people how we met.
Well, we met like 20 years ago, give or take, at a harmonica event in Birmingham, Alabama, and the gentleman, Mr. Addison, putting on the event, mentioned to me that Jerry Devillier was going to be there representing Cajun music, and I was very excited because I knew of Mr. Jerry. It probably scared him when I approached him and was like, "You are Mr. Jerry Devillier." And so I adopted him, and he's been a brother since
we
then.
really did an adoption because I don't have family around, but we'd be playing and Joe would be standing right at the bandstand, just staring at me. So I finally said, Joe, I said, hey, who are you? What? And you told me how much you enjoyed the Cajun music. So I said, Joe, get up and play a song with us. You want to tell them about the Cajun yell?
Well, I about jumped out of my skin.
I did the Cajun yell at Junior. Oh, that was funny. But anyway, that's how Joe and I met. And then Joe mentioned the SPAH. Well, of course, I didn't know what that meant. And so he mentioned the SPAH. So I came to the SPAH. He put me in a teaching, and I had to have somebody explain what I did because I didn't know what I was doing. I just did it. So Grant Dermot just sat in and explained to the people sitting at the table what I did, and then they just. We grew up, we got it going, and we're still friends, and we're still doing some teaching. We have the thing. You tell them what's coming up in September.
Well, you can also catch Mr. Jerry, in addition to usually being at the SPAH Harmonica Festival in August. There's also a Blown Away on the Bayou in Opelousas, Louisiana, that happens in October. You can all look that up. Blown Away on the Bayou.
It's a mini
yeah.
But it's just cool that I'm glad you're willing to share what you know, because it seems like I feel like Cajun harmonica is kind of an underappreciated style of harmonica.
Eric and home, the accordion is the kingpin, and so. When I won my first award and it made the front page, my friends called me and said, I didn't even know you played harmonica. Only one person out of everybody that called me locally said, I didn't know you even played the harmonica, and so I don't get to play much at home. I never did. I never got invited much to play on the stage at the Liberty Theater, but with Jamie Barzal. And one of the songs that I played at the Liberty Theater, I ripped it off and sent it off for the Pete Peterson Award, and that's what we used. I just ripped it off. It wasn't done with all the fancy equipment, and so. But the funniest story is that. The last time that the SPAH played in Denver, my daughter lives in Boulder, so I called my daughter. I said, hey, Candace, why don't you come and visit Daddy? I'll be in Denver next week. But she said, Daddy, what are you doing in Denver? I said, I'm playing the harmonica, and I'm going to quote her. She said, Daddy, I didn't even know you played harmonica.
Well, you're very secretive about this.
Well, I never played. I've actually come and played at the SPAH and didn't touch my harmonica until the next SPAH. At home, nobody asked me to play, nobody cared, nobody knew, and so my neighbor's wife died. Well, I had been living there 27 years, and I says, hey, look, would you like? I'm offering to play Amazing Grace at the funeral. He says, what do you play? I said, I play harmonica. I've been there 27 years. He didn't. Next door neighbor didn't know I played. And so, it's been quite a journey from starting at 5 years old with a 50-cent horn to where I am now, and that's because of guys like you. And Joe, wherever I am, Joe made me who I am now. And now with you. And by the way, every teaching I've done here, you sat with me, you volunteered your time to sit with me and play Cajun music because you were the only guitar player that could play Cajun music at the SPAH. If other guys tried, they couldn't do it. So I played a song for you, and you played along with me. Then I played another one, and you would seem to be doing pretty well. So I said, take a ride. Not only did he play, but you took a ride and did it well. So I am very fortunate that you, Eric, sat with me at every SPAH and played the guitar for me as a backup.
It's an honor. It's really an honor.
I am. So you and Joe has really been behind me, and I wouldn't be at all where I am if it wouldn't be for you guys and Grant. You know, you and Joe and Grant got me where I am, and I don't really know where I am, but where I am is you guys got me here. You know.
Well, Mr. Jerry, we are confident you are a national treasure, and you got yourself to where you're at. I just basically am trying to be a translator so that normal people can better understand just how amazing you are.
I got myself where I am, but you found me. If you wouldn't have founded me, if you wouldn't have found me, Joe, I'd have never gotten known like I am now. You found I did the work, but how did I start? You standing in front of me, staring at me when I first met you, and you invited me here, and you put me in with a teaching, and I couldn't explain. I didn't know I didn't know any terms. I didn't know what a split was. I didn't know what all of these. So you put Grand Dermody with me, and so that worked out fine. Then finally, now I know a few of them. I know a few of the technical stuff. I just play. And I asked you, I said, Joe, what if I can't explain what I'm doing? He said, well, don't know. That's what you do. I don't know why I'm doing it, you know. And so anyway, it's been a long road, but you know what? It's really worked out well. It's really worked out well for me, and I've got a lot of recognition and awards. I've won 4 major awards in the last 2 years at home, and so that I'm very proud of. And especially in Louisiana, I got the highest award that Louisiana gives to anybody for anything. I got that last year, and so I went from 5-year-old kid playing with his dad to winning major awards, and that's because of you guys. I give you all the credit.
I'm not sure we deserve it, but we'll
I'm sure.
accept
I don't care if you're not sure. I'm sure. You know.
I'm just glad you're here talking to us and sharing your amazing stories, Mr. Jerry.
I wouldn't have done this a long time ago because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't feel worthy of the attention I was getting, and now I feel very comfortable talking with you guys and sharing what I've been through to get where I am. You know, it was a hard road because when I was 1 year old, I had rheumatic fever, and the doctor told my mom I had 1 chance in 100 to make it. And so but he says if you make it, that's going to be something wrong with them. Mm-hmm. I made it, and so I didn't speak till I was 4 years old, and then when I tried to speak, I couldn't speak. I was a chronic stutterer. So when I went to high school, I was considered retarded because I was a stutterer. So I had a pretty hard start. But that's okay. I made it.
You've come a long way.
With the help of people like you and the SPAH. The SPAH has really made me who I am through y'all. I give the SPAH all the credit.
That's right, the SPAH Harmonica Festival. Yes, well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for taking some time and sharing some of your stories and history. It's really cool.
I am surprised at how well behaved Joe is. It's because we on television. That's why. He's not always behaved that way. You're always behaved.
I told him you'd set him straight if he didn't behave. Yeah, I told him. I told him you were going to do the Cajun yell. I'm not even sure what that is.
I don't think I can do that. I'm 87 years old. I can barely yell. I can do the Cajun yell, you know. But I'm at a position now where I can say thank you guys.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done, and you've got me where I am, and from beginning a pucker at 5 years old to where I am now, I feel very good about it, and it's all because of you guys. I want y'all to know that, and I really mean this, bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry.
You're welcome.